Welcome to the Moving to Denver podcast with your host, Hayley Bartlett, your Aussie agent. Good morning. I am back. And yes, this is season 2, episode 2. I skipped a couple weeks again, just trying to get my son back to school and get all that done. But I am back now and I will be recording these episodes weekly again. So welcome back to the podcast. And I just want to say thank you to all of you that have been listening and have gotten in contact with me. I've had such a great response to these episodes, and from people that have visited Denver, driving home and listening and thinking about moving here, from people that are moving here for business. All kinds of people have been contacting me, and it's great. People leave comments on my Facebook page, my Facebook business page, which is Your Aussie Agent. And people just contact me from my website, which is www.yourausieagent.com, or people just find me and tell me that they've been listening. So I've been getting some great responses, and I'm so thankful for that. It's nice when you sit here and you're talking into a camera and you're talking into a microphone and it's just you. It's nice to get those responses and hear that people are actually listening and that the podcast is actually helping. So thank you so much. I just wanted to get that out this morning. So today I'm talking about recreational opportunities and things to do in Denver. So whether you are visiting or whether you are moving here, these are some things that you might want to check out or you might want to do. And it's just to give you an idea of the kind of opportunities we do have here, which is quite a lot. So in winter, we are known for our skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, or just hanging out in the ski lodge, having a drink while everybody else is skiing. I have a lot of friends that do that. Their husbands ski or their wife ski or their partners ski or the kids ski, and they just hang out in the lodge, which sounds pretty good to me. By the fireplace, having a drink and reading a book. Sounds pretty nice. So that's a winter opportunity here too. And I can tell you that taking little getaway trips in winter is a lot of fun here. My husband and I went to Estes Park last year for our anniversary, and we got a little cabin on the river, and it snowed while we were there, and it was just beautiful, and it was quiet in town. Downtown Estes Park can get very busy in summer. So winter, it's kind of nice. It's not so much a ski place. Hiking in Rocky Mountain National Park or snowshoeing in Rocky Mountain National Park is beautiful. But just hanging out in the downtown area when it's nice and quiet is a treat for sure. So those are some of those winter things that people like to do around here. And if you're not into those kind of things, you can go shopping, I guess. We have some malls and you can do that. We also have some really cool museums that are worth checking out. If the weather's bad, if it's too hot, if it's too cold, then these places are worth checking out. The Museum of Nature and Science is really cool, and they have different exhibits that get switched out. Usually every quarter or every few months they switch those exhibits out. We've had some fun ones come. I actually haven't been there in a while. Probably need to do that again soon. But as my son turns into a teenager, he's less interested in those things. We also have a really cool children's museum, and they've just expanded the outdoor area of that, and now they have this huge climbing structure that looks really cool, and a huge outdoor play area. So that's probably a good one, more so for summer, spring, fall, when the weather's good. Maybe not so much in winter if it's been snowing, but we still have some awesome days here in winter. The Buffalo Bill Museum in Golden is one I discovered last year. It's a much smaller museum. It's never crowded. There's some beautiful views from up there. And it's fun to see that history. So that's a cool one to check out too. So that's up in Golden and worth a visit, and it's quite affordable to go there. We also have a few art galleries. We have our main Denver Art Gallery, and then there's a few other ones in the city that, Modern Art, Museum of Modern Art, Denver. There's a few fun ones to go check out. So if you're into art and you like that kind of stuff, then the art gallery can be a good place to visit too. You know where else I like to go in winter, and this might be strange to people, but we like to go to the zoo in winter because it's quiet. Nobody goes to the zoo in winter. And if you go at the right time, the animals are pretty active. And then if it is cold, you can go hide in the little tropical part where the fish and stuff are to kind of warm up and then go back out and look again. So we like to do that in winter. I am not much of a hot weather person. I don't like getting sweaty. It doesn't make me feel good. So we do some weird things that other people don't do around here in winter. But it's kind of fun to go these places when it's quiet, which is part of the appeal to us for sure. So those are some kind of fun things to do if the weather's not so great. Now in summer, there's a whole bunch of other opportunities that are worth exploring, things that we didn't do before we moved here, but when we moved here, we kind of took to them. So of course, hiking is one of those things. Getting away up into the mountains can be just what you need in the middle of summer. Temperatures are cooler up there and there's so much pretty scenery to check out. So hiking is definitely something to give a try, and you don't have to hike for miles and miles. We have so many great hikes where you don't have to go far to see cool things. So we have waterfalls and, big rock faces and little streams and rivers and things like that. We like to hike on the other side of Rocky Mountain National Park because it's quieter. Now, when we moved here 7 years ago, it was much quieter then, not so much now, but still quieter than the main part of the park, and you hit waterfalls really close into the hike. So that's a great little hike that you can check out. And it's pretty flat to the first waterfall for the kids. So hiking is a big one. Lots of people cycle and bike here in Denver. We have great trail systems. Whether you're going south, north, west, we have really good trail systems. Even up here north in Longmont, there's a good trail system that goes all the way into Boulder, which is a pretty cool one to check out. And they did just connect Boulder through on a bike trail. I want to say that one, I'm not sure that it goes all the way into Denver. I've never done that trail. I do like to bike as well. Don't get out on my bike enough, but we do have some fun trails, by rivers. If you live on the north side or the south side, you can ride into downtown Denver, the Cherry Creek Trail or the South Platte Trail. You can ride all the way into Denver, which is kind of fun. You can go in and have lunch or go in and find a coffee shop and take a break and then ride back. Trail running is another thing that's big around here, especially if you live west and you have those chances to run on the trails. That's a big thing. I do not like running that much. I will run on the treadmill. I will do intervals. I'll run a mile, but I do not enjoy running just for the fun of it. It's not fun to me. It's more about keeping my weight down as I get into the 40s. But yeah, some people enjoy running. So those trails that people bike on are also good for running, or there is the trail running. And of course, mountain biking is big around here too. And that's something that my son enjoys. He also enjoys rock climbing. That's another thing that is great out here, especially kind of in the Boulder area. There's a lot of great places to rock climb in Boulder and do all those daredevil activities. Kayaking, whitewater rafting, stand-up paddleboarding, all done in different spots, of course. I don't think you'd want to stand-up paddleboard where you whitewater raft, but we have lakes here. So we are a landlocked state. We are not butting up against any beaches. We're really not close to any beaches, but we have reservoirs and lakes that people go out and kayak on. We went out and kayaked at Union Reservoir in Longmont maybe a month ago, and that was a lot of fun. We were out there for a couple hours just kayaking around. My son did a lot of stand-up paddleboarding this summer in the reservoirs, And they also have, most of those reservoirs and lakes have swim beaches. So little patches of gritty sand that you can, and they rope off an area that the kids can swim in. So it's some relief. It's not really a beach, but it is some water relief, and it allows you to do those activities like stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, and canoeing and those kinds of things. So we do have those opportunities as well. What more do you need? Then, like I mentioned before, we have the zoo, which is a fun place to visit no matter what time of year. And our zoo has been expanding over the past few years, but it does get busy, especially during the summer. You want to get there early so you can get a parking spot close to the zoo. When they have special nights, like their zoo lights in December for Christmas, it gets really busy. So you want to make sure you're there right when those gates open so you can get a parking spot and you don't have to stand in line for hours. We also have the Wild Animal Sanctuary, and it's out on the plains in Keensburg, but it is so worth visiting. They rescue bears, lions, tigers, all kinds of animals that shouldn't be domesticated, that people have tried to domesticate or people have used in zoos or people have abused, and they have this huge setup with planes and trucks, and they rescue these animals and then they build them wonderful habitats. And so we have that out on the plains, and it's a really cool place to visit. Not many people know about it. It's in Keensburg, and it's just, yeah, you should definitely, if you're in Denver, if you're moving here, if you're going to come and see, if you might want to live here, you should definitely make the drive and go check that place out. And they do, I think they have a little cafe now and ice cream, but you can also take your lunch, and there's spots. It's a huge, like, high up boardwalk over the animals so that you're not interrupting the animals. So you can sit up there and eat your lunch and, you know, listen and watch the animals. It's just a really, really cool place. And then if you go up into the mountains a little bit, there is Tiny Town, which everything, like little houses, a little train, everything's tiny. And I have never been there, but I know my friends take their kids there and the kids love it. I remember we had something like that in Australia. I think it was in Canberra, or Canberra, as my American husband would say. But everything was tiny. So I do remember growing up with something like that, but we do have such a thing here. And we also have the Railroad Museum, and they put on some, sorry, I'm kind of looking at my list so I don't forget things. They put on some fun events like with Thomas, and they have the Polar Express train at Christmas, which you have to like book in like February or something because it gets booked out so quickly. But they have fun stuff for those kiddos that, you know, love the trains, love to be on the trains. And then we have Red Rocks, of course, which is an institution around here. You have to go visit Red Rocks. You have to climb the stairs. But be careful if you just landed and you're not used to altitude and you go do that. My dad tried that, and yeah, let's just say we had to pull over somewhere for him. So be careful of that. Be careful of the doing too much exercise at high altitude when you've just gotten here. Can be rough for sure. But Red Rocks is worth a visit, and if you can get to a concert at Red Rocks, then that's even better. The concerts at Red Rocks are amazing. There's no other venue for music like Red Rocks. And they also have movies during the summer and yoga on the rocks. They do a lot of stuff there at Red Rocks. So definitely something worth checking out. Brewery tours are another thing. I like those. We have Coors, if you like that kind of beer, in Golden. That's the biggest one closest to Denver. You can do the tour there. And then if you go up to Fort Collins, there's the Budweiser, which I haven't done one of those since St. Louis, when we lived in St. Louis. I prefer to go to Left Hand in Fort Collins and do their brewery tour. Very fun. Make sure you eat before you go. They give you a lot of beer at that brewery tour. And then Odell in Fort Collins have a really good tour as well. A lot of the little breweries in the areas do tours, and you can kind of ask at each brewery, because sometimes they don't have them advertised, but they actually do them. We've done a couple of fun. I think Upslope in Boulder was a fun, smaller kind of brewery tour. We've done quite a few that were little and we didn't know about till we got to the brewery and then found out and jumped in. So there's those things for the adults. We also have a lot of festivals, parades, and town events. Like the little towns around Denver have their own parades and events. Here in Frederick, we have Miners' Day Parade in September. We just had an event where you go and watch these wood carvings be done, and there's food trucks and stuff for the kids, and then the carvings are all over the town of Frederick. So that's a fun little, unique festival that we have, and a lot of towns do these unique festivals and parades. A lot of them have Christmas parades, 4th of July parades. Longmont has an amazing Halloween parade that, it's just people that live in the city or live around and get dressed up and jump in the parade, and they have the high school bands and stuff. So we have a lot of that happens in Denver, in the little towns kind of surrounding. And then at Christmas, Denver has its own big Christmas parade, and they have a German Christmas market, and they have some fun things to check out around that Christmas time area as well. Christmas time is like one of my favorite times, so that's why I'm talking about it a lot. Probably I can't talk properly today. So as you can see, I just waffled on. We have a lot of great opportunities here. If you move here, there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of things to do whether you're single. There's a lot of things to do if you have kids. There's a lot of things to do if you're a married couple. It's a great place to live. There are plenty of opportunities to get out and explore. If you're not that kind of person, then you have your museums, and the Botanical Gardens is another great place. And the Botanical Gardens actually has 3 different locations in Denver, Littleton, and I think there's one kind of more up in the mountains. And those are fun too. The one in Denver has a children's garden, which is awesome. And then they have fun events during the year too. A lot of towns also have movies in the parks, music in the parks on summer evenings. So we have a lot of things that kind of bring us together, and it's great. Like, I love all the opportunities we have here. I think I'll stop waffling on about them now. I have probably bored you to tears talking about it, but I do just want to let everyone know that Denver is a pretty good place to live when it comes to opportunities of things to do, and how to stay entertained and how to stay active. We have plenty of that stuff. If you are thinking of moving to the Denver area, or you have questions about living in Denver, I would love to be your resource. I would love to help. My name is Haley Bartlett. I am your Aussie agent. I am a realtor in the area, and I have lived here in Denver for 7 years now. So I would love to help. If you have any questions, let me know. Reach out. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me online, www.yourausieagent.com. You can try and think where else. YouTube. You can find me on YouTube. Leave me a comment and I will get back to you. I hope you're having a fabulous day, month, or year, and let's listen and chat again soon. All right, guys. See ya.